All right, White Sox fans, about to get into another episode with just another year Chicago White Sox. Today, really want to get into the youth movement that we've been seeing. And part of the reason is some guys are doing really good right now, but we could see this be an experimental year for the team. And we might actually see some of the spots right now be for guys to come later in the season. But before I do go on, I got to get your guys' thoughts. Who do you think is going to be the next call up? Because we've already seen a few come up. We have a few names who we know are looming, a few that we really want to see come up, make their starts, make their debuts. But give me your thoughts. I'm curious to know. I know me personally, I think that we're going to see Hagen Smith be the next guy up, just as a pitcher who's in AAA. But who knows? Maybe some other guys are creeping up on him as well, too. If you like what you're seeing, share, subscribe. I know we talk about it all the time. Next goal is 100. Right now we're at 84. Only need 16 to get there. So if you like listening to Matt and Matt talk about the White Sox every couple of days, tune in, share, subscribe, and we'll get right into it. First things first, gotta dive into Noah Schultz. Now, Noah Schultz, he took me by surprise personally, being that first person called up. I did think that Hagen Smith was going to have him beat out, but we're not here to talk about that. I want to give Noah Schultz a big, big shout out to having a really confident start on Saturday. For all those who watched, his debut, everyone should have been watching his debut. He looked a little shaky in the beginning, and I think a lot of that is just really part to it's his first MLB debut. He's got high expectations. He has a lot of people at the ballpark to watch him at home. It's just a tough scene for your first go around. But when you go back and look at everything this guy's got, first off, he's 6'10", throwing lefty. You don't see guys like that often. If you went back and watched the video that Matt and I did the other day, I was talking about a big advantage he has that's not metrics. You cannot teach this. Someone who is 6'10", throwing the ball off a mound is a really scary thought, because for the mound being 60 feet and 6 inches away from home plate, someone like Noah Schultz is probably throwing the ball from closer to, I'd say, about 48 to 50 feet or so. That's just taking into account his stride plus his arm, where he's actually releasing the ball. But again, you just don't see those guys. So for him to be on the White Sox and start looking like he's that, go-getter, dominant starting pitcher, it's awesome to see. Now, a few big numbers that he really did well with before his call-up. AAA just this year alone, 1.29 ERA, 19 strikeouts and 14 innings pitched, 0.429 whip. Some insane numbers you're seeing from this guy. And again, first start in the pros was not the best. Not everyone comes up and just has a great debut. That's okay. It's going to happen. But then we look to Sunday, and he had a really good start, going 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and 6 strikeouts. And I don't think the 1 earned run does him justice, mainly because that 1 earned run was 1 hit, the only hit he gave up, and it served to be just 1 mistake. They took advantage of it. The bigger piece to that, you saw him mixing in his pitches really well. He's starting to understand he has a dominant fastball, especially from the arm slot he throws in. Again, some of these things you cannot teach, but overall, it's really good. I'm glad that this guy's on our team, because I would hate having to go against this guy every other couple of days. Now, get into the next guy who got a call up right after Noah Schultz did, Sam Antonashi. So I know everyone's going to see this. Matt, he hasn't been doing good. Matt, he hasn't been doing much. I want all you guys to go back 2 weeks ago when we were watching this dude light up AAA, and we were all begging for him to come on this roster, because he's here and he's here to stay. Now, I understand he's had, some struggles, but we need to take this into consideration. It's way too early to rule this guy out. What he was doing a couple weeks ago, That's in AAA. He's in the professionals now. He has to make that transition period. And the transition will come. It's going to come with time. Now, we don't need him to be this power hitter. If he does, great. What we really need him to be able to do is play an outfield spot for us because we know we have that gap. But ultimately, if he continues to just get on base at a high level like he did in AAA, just creates pressure, swiping bags left and right, this guy's going to be a top of the lineup guy for us. I don't see a single doubt in that. Will he be the leadoff? Maybe. I personally like him a little bit better behind Chase Mydroth right now, but that's just me. Now let's dive into his numbers a little bit. So in AAA alone, 313 average, 500 on base percentage. And that dude had 15 walks. It felt like he was getting plunked way too many times, but it's all a part of the game. Now, an even bigger metric that was really big for him, he had a WAR of 4.9. That's not just the biggest in AAA. That's the biggest among all of our hitters in this system. You have players who put up WAR numbers like that, they need to be playing in your lineup. They make that much of a difference. And, we've seen some of these early struggles, which I think is just Sam. He's struggling with the MLB pitching, and that happens in that transition. But we've seen in AAA, he's got great plate discipline. He knows the strike zone fairly well, and he does a great job at just putting the ball in play and getting on base. Someone like that we need so bad on this team because we have a couple of guys who don't really have a spot. So if we know we have Sam as a guy who it's, hey, you're going to hit 1-2 on a day-to-day basis, go up there, get on base, let Colson and Mooney do their things, it's going to serve such a good purpose for this roster. If he can just be him, get on base, swipe bags, and score runs. So don't freak out too early. If anything, again, I want you to go back and look at that AAA film, everything that we've been seeing, buy more stock in this guy right now, because when he figures it out and he heats up, right around middle of summer, everyone's going to be like, oh, hey, this guy's great. Buy stock in Sam Antonacci right now. Do not give up hope. This kid has way too much talent to be a top of our order hitter. And then that's going to go to the next guy. And he's the hottest hitter in our organization, if he's not the hottest hitter in baseball right now. But if you don't know who I'm talking about right now, we're talking about Braden Montgomery. This kid absolutely lit up the minors last week. There's no other way to explain it. This kid dominated last week. Won 6 games, an average of 600, slugging 1,200, and he had 12 hits over his 20 at-bats. 9 of those 12 hits were extra base hits, 2 of them being triples. He had 7 RBIs to go along with that. I believe he had 4 walks or so, but man, what a week for this kid. Because about 2 weeks ago, very early April, I was personally there. I was saying, hey, I don't know what's going on with him. A lot of White Sox Twitter was saying, what's going on with him? He wasn't looking himself. He was only hitting in that, mid 150 range. Since people started kind of playing him down a little bit, this kid has just came out and lit it up. This is what you want to see out of the number one prospect in your organization. Someone who comes out and does this. He's got 5-tool upside. He's got real power and athleticism, and he can do it all. This kid is the future of the White Sox center field. I don't know anyone who's going to compete for that spot with him. Yes, he's young, and he's got to get through AA and AAA still. But right now, the way it's looking, he's earned his right to play AAA ball. And they might just make sure he's staying consistent in AA before they make that move. You don't want to rush him too quick. I agree. But he needs to play on this roster at some point this year. The bigger question is, when is that going to be? I personally think that we'll see him maybe July or so, if not August. If we don't see him at all this summer, we will definitely see him come September, because there is no reason Braden Montgomery goes into 2027 without any kind of MLB experience, whether it's 5 games, 10 games, a month, half a season. This kid needs to be playing on this roster right now. He's going to keep on doing what he's doing. And ultimately, he's looking like a huge win for us in a trade that we got from Boston. So I covered a couple of guys there. Overall, the biggest thing, yes, I know that not all these guys are top of the line guys right now. You guys don't understand what we have sitting here. And yes, I understand where we've been. Give it a couple of years. Look what's on the horizon. We have a huge thing going on in 2029. If, for those of you who don't know, that's when we could see a transition here. When we see this transition, all these guys, they're going to be in their prime years, have had plenty of experience, and they're going to be a threat to the division. And when these guys come up and run our division, it's going to be absolutely insane. So that's going to do it here. Just for us at Just Another Year Chicago. I'm Matt. I'll catch you guys another day. Go White Sox.